Welcome back to Rappin' Dough. It's your man Don Bucks. This is the Home of Money Conversations. We back with another video. Today, we're gonna be talking about how strategic the black father was taken out of the household. I was scrolling through the world of TikTok and found a very interesting video. So we're gonna tap into that. I'm gonna get my perspective off and on. So we're gonna get into that after this intro.
Rappin' dope, rappin' dope, rappin' dope.
Yeah.
You
So
know, the
we're gonna get into this and I'm gonna go back and forth with it. But it's very, very enlightening.
U.S. government once penalized black families for having fathers in the home, and the effects are still felt today. During the 1960s and 70s, public assistance programs such as welfare and housing aid included what was called the man in the house rule. Under this rule, a woman could not receive government assistance if a man, even the father of her children, was living in a home.
Now I know that sounds familiar. And for them to even to impose that, like, I haven't talked to too many people from back then about this, but I remember hearing this, like, um, being that the father, the man of the house, was underemployed, or the household in general was underemployed. In order to get assistance, welfare, there couldn't be a man in the house. It's like when they came by to visit the house, like the man had to move his clothes. Like I know y'all heard them stories. Like they couldn't. They was real. They was really like acting like police coming through, checking for big shoes. Like the man couldn't have none of his items in the house. Like it couldn't be no evidence of a man being in the house in order for the woman or the family at the end of the day to get assistance. Like that's the term they use now, diabolical. Like,
This forced thousands of black families into a heartbreaking choice: stay together and struggle financially, or separate so the mother and the children could receive benefits. For many black fathers, this meant 1, being forced out of their own homes, 2, struggling with unemployment due to discrimination, and 3, watching their families suffer economically despite their best efforts. Even though the rule was eventually struck down, the damage was already done. It contributed to generational poverty. Instead of building black wealth, black families had to survive on unstable government aids. It contributed to fatherless households. This policy incentivized single-parent homes, leading to a rise in a father absence.
so we can't sit up here and act like all of a sudden fathers are not in the household on purpose. This is the effects of this psychologically. How if a woman nowadays was raised with a mother from back then, it just trickled down the thought process. Like, oh, I didn't have a father in my household, so you don't necessarily need one. But what happens is the government now becomes the father, right? The government now becomes the man in the house, dictating. So this is what we have going on now. It done spilled all the way down to our generation. Whereas though they forgot the origin of it. The origin is, and this is, oh, what's the word? It's very sinister, this plan that they had to break up the black family, because it's working. Like when they sat around a round table and tried to figure out how they can destroy the black family, of course everyone knows, I don't care what race it is, that a man's presence in the house has a huge effect on the family as a whole. You take the man out of the house. I mean, that's just That's a duh moment. Like, how don't we know? Like, we have to think, how don't we know without a man in the house that shit turns to shambles? Things go awry. There's no stability in the house without a man there. But we have to understand the origin of it. It wasn't by mistake. This was strategic. And it's working. Because now you got women talking about they don't need a man. They don't even understand where it originated. It's not because you really don't need a man. It's because it's been psychologically implanted in you that you don't need a man.
And then 3, mass incarceration. As economic opportunities shrank for Black men, many were funneled into the prison system. How does it still affect us today? Well, Black families still face economic disadvantages due to lost generational wealth. The stereotype of the absent Black father was largely created by policies like this, not by choice.
It was created. First, okay, you can't get assistance if a man is in the house. And I guess they figured, how else do we get the man out of the picture? Then they pose all of these policies that cause mass incarceration, the crack era. We're living in the results. We're living in the results of the crack epidemic, mass incarceration. You know somebody, if you're Black, you know somebody who's been affected, whether they was on crack, went to jail because of crack, got took out of the household one way, shape, or form, not because they wanted to. It's because of this. We're living in that, and we can't sit up here and forget about the origin of the situation that we're in. This is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with people that are I guess what's the word I'm looking for? We're dealing with people that were bred out of this because they didn't have a father. This is why they act the way they act. Because they didn't have a father. This is why we have all these single mothers. But we can't negate the origin. This is the origin.
In reality, Black fathers are among the most involved parents when present. Government policies still shape Black wealth and family structures, making it critical to understand history and advocate for our economic empowerment. Well, what's the solution? We got to build our own economic power. We got to practice collective economics, invest in circulating our dollars within the community. We got to have more financial literacy, teaching wealth building strategies and dependency. And we need to have real estate ownership to secure land and assets for our future generations. We must reclaim our financial independence and rewrite our family legacy.
And we've been starting to do that. You know, this is one of the things that I promote on this channel. Like I said, this is the home of money conversations, but it's also solutions because we all know the problem. Some of us, most of us know what the problem is. Right? Like, this is the problem. This is the origin of our problems. But a lot of times it gets lost in the sauce. It gets lost, you know, because we're dealing with the present and things of that nature. We're tackling things in the now, but we have to remember how it all began. So we're starting to, and this is why we struggle a little bit in this area, because we're starting so late. And this is why we're starting so late. It was strategic. Like, we already started behind, like, other races come here and they even get a head start. But we was brought here, you know, the stuff that we went through. We're starting from behind, right? And like I said in previous videos, once we start mastering things, can't nobody fuck with us. We destroy and shine everywhere and everything. And they know this. They know it. But now we're working, I ain't gonna say trying to, now we're working on, trying to have collective economics, group economics. We're starting to learn about investing, real estate. Of course, we got a few bad apples. Like I've been seeing a few videos lately, you know, the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. That I ain't even gonna get into the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, but we're trying to have group economics. We're trying to learn these things. But like I said, once we master it, we're going to shine. So right now we ironing out our kinks. You know what I'm saying? We shaking out the bad apples. You know what I mean? But these are the things that we have to do. We have to learn how to have our own. So we won't have to depend on the government. And then we have to play by their rules. Like, oh yeah, oh, you want our money? Oh, well, all right, well, no man can be in the house. See what I'm saying? So we're working on it.
The past does not define us, but understanding it helps us shape a better future. Now stay woke, wealthy, outstanding, knowledgeable, and empowered, and let's continue to build. Now drop a black fist in the comments and share with others who need to know this Black history fact.
Like I said, scrolling through the world of TikTok, I found that, and it was very insightful, you dig? Because a lot of times we forget, we like to point fingers and because like I said, their plan was sinister, but it's genius because it's working to a T. It's working, it's still working. We like to point fingers. Oh, well, it's the black man. He ain't right. He ain't making enough money. They tainted our women's minds, and it dates back. They tainted them, destroyed the black family by taking the man out the household and making him the villain, putting him behind the 8 ball, locking him up. So now he's not that employable. Then when he does get out, not only is he not that employable, he's discriminated against. Right? So we have to understand the origin of the situation that we're in. Stop pointing fingers and start working on the things that we need in order to bring it back together. So I like to know what y'all think in the comments. Now that y'all know, if you didn't know, now you know that the black man was strategically taken out of the household, strategically underemployed, locked up, and made to be the villain. And it's still working to this day. So let me know in the comments what y'all think about that. This is my take, but yeah. If y'all new to this channel, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, notification bell so y'all know when I'm going live with the next video. So I'll see you on the next one.